Okay, so I just watched some of my stuff back while I'm waiting, and I was just like, you know what? I've got to learn how to watch the clock on myself because I be picking up certain little stuff, and I'm like, you know what? You don't want to send the wrong message. You know what I mean? So that's something that I'm definitely gonna start doing a little bit more of. Is just trying to watch the clock on myself. And what does that mean? Let me further define that. Watching the clock on myself means that there are times where I may need to make a certain point and I may seem to stumble over words or whatever the case is. It's because there's so much that I really want to say in that moment, and I'm trying to determine what's the most important thing for me to say in that moment. Like, it's like, okay, I've got 4 points that I need to make in this moment. Which point do I really, really want to prioritize first? And so that's where you guys will see me kind of like stumble over my words and things like that. I feel a need to elaborate on that or further define it because, there are so many people talking shit about me. And, I'll be like, you know what? Honestly, I look at people who are outgoing and they have their own personality, and everybody's just like, they just kind of judge those people for being who they are naturally. And I think it's because we live in a society that requires you to, kind of be robotic. They want you to act a certain way, speak a certain way, dress a certain way. Someone like me who is like, honestly, have you ever seen that movie Monster in Law? Have you ever seen that movie Monster in Law? I hope you guys have. If you haven't, you need to go see it. I love that movie. Down, honey, I love that movie. And everybody did a really good job in it. And so, but the point that I'm trying to make is one of the characters, the main character, she was a temporary employee, and she worked through, I think, agencies and stuff like that, which is what I did. But I don't identify myself as a temporary employee. I identify myself as a contractor because I always worked under my own platform and my own company, and my company was hired by the actual agency, right? So for me, it was a little different, but to everybody else, they didn't know the difference because, that's me, that's between me and my agency and my paycheck. Okay. So anyway, hold on. All right. So basically, I think that was one of the things that people were looking down on this person for, because the main character, she had all these different jobs and all these different skill sets, and everybody was like, well, what exactly does she do for a living? But she was this amazing person. And the man that she ended up marrying was so in love with her because, of who she was, not because of what she did for a living, and I can identify with that. So I was just like, we live in a society that judges you off stuff like that. They're like, well, what exactly do? You need to have this particular job. You have to be able to do, you have to have this kind of a skill set. What can we know you for? Well, for me, I do a plethora of things. I've worn many hats, and I don't regret the journey that I've had at all. I really don't, because it's made me the woman that I am. And it's made me so diversified that people who have followed one journey, one path throughout their entire lives, they can't understand me. There's no way that they would ever be able to comprehend what kind of a woman I am. I'ma always come up short when it comes to them because, oh, she doesn't have the degree. Oh, she didn't work for this company or that company for X amount of years. Oh, did you see her resume? Is it actually true? Like, well, let's look into this bitch. Like, it's like ridiculous. It really is. In the meantime, in between time, I'm, off exploring other skill sets, looking into new things. I think I want to learn pottery next. I think I want to learn how to, be a pilot next. I think I want to go over here and learn how to play croquet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm different, and I get tired of people judging me for that. But when I start to explain certain things about myself, I have to realize there's a fine line between me allowing people to know who I am and me actually appearing to explain myself to people. Because people who like to, get a rise out of others, or they like to pick at others, or they like to dominate others, or even try to pump fear in other people, those people, you'll be sitting there and minding your business, not even thinking about a situation in a certain way. And because that is their agenda, to like make you submit in some kind of way, you explaining yourself. And it's like, no, I'm just trying to make sure that you don't misunderstand who I am. I'm not explaining anything to you. I'm just making sure that we're clear. So I have to do that from time to time. You know what I mean? And so I think about that movie from time to time because I'm like, you know what? That was a prime example of how it is and how my life has been for many years. People have to really see me in action. They have to see me working. They have to work with me at some point. And then they're like, whoa, okay, I get it now. I understand this woman now a little bit more than I did before, at the very least, But I'm not going to perform for you. And I'm not going to go above and beyond to explain who I am as a woman to you either. You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of like the main